Presentation. So, Tri-County was established and started in 1977. Since then, we've gone through a lot of changes. Tri-County is a public high school. Massachusetts, back in the late 70s and early 80s, established a system where Massachusetts residents can choose from different types of public high schools, not just the traditional route, but they also created the vocational high school system. Boys trade, a lot of the schools were started as, and agricultural high schools. A lot of those other options have morphed over time, and Tri-County is one of those schools. And we have a dynamic team at Tri-County who have learned to work with students of backgrounds that consist of students with different types of learning styles, students who are extraordinary in some areas and maybe struggle in other areas, or just all around want to prepare themselves for post-secondary career success. So one of the things that I want to stress is that our school has a general capacity of about 1,000 students. We try to keep our class sizes small, our schools small, and so that students get to know each and every one of our staff members and each other. We have students coming from our 11 sending towns, which I'll get to in a few moments, but many non-resident towns as well. So students are coming in knowing a few people, knowing a lot of people, or sometimes being the only one from their town. And that's not a problem because we help students learn to get to know other students, meet them, make friends, and that is how our school works. So when vocational technical high schools were started, they had a bit of a different preface. A lot of people attended vocational high schools because they weren't successful or they didn't like academics. And people said, you know, you wouldn't be able to go to college or you wouldn't want to go to college. That's not the principle of Tri-County or vocational high schools in Massachusetts anymore. What we stand for is options. We provide students the options to be successful, whether they enter college, workforce, military, or all three at the same time, which is possible. Students are trained to be what's called employable. Employability skills and scores are very important. We want students to mature. We want them to be ready to start in a career that they love, and that's what we do best. We want to integrate technology, we want to integrate academics, and we want to combine that with the career interests that they have to make them successful in high school and education in general. Tri-County has 16, and I want to call them vocational trades or technical programs or career majors. We call them lots of different things. And those are each, we call the location of each of these programs their shop. So there's a lot of terminology in vocational technical high schools that students and parents and community members try to get a hold of while they're going through the process. And if they hear me give a tour or they hear me give a speech about selecting a major or a career program, I use those terms interchangeably. So I apologize if there's any confusion, but when I talk about career programs or majors or shop, these are the 16 things I'm talking about. These are what we offer right now at the school. These are the areas of career development that we offer our students. And that's not to mention the side of the academic components where we have students in college prep classes, honors, advanced placement, and I'll get into that with the academic slide, but we also offer electives on the academic side as well, which help further students' understanding of these 16 different programs. So auto technology, carpentry, computer information systems, we also call CIS, cosmetology, culinary arts, dental assisting, early childhood education, or early childhood careers, electrical, engineering, graphic communications, health careers, HVAC&R, which is heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration, legal and protective services, sometimes people call that criminal justice, medical assisting, metal fabrication, and plumbing. Those are our programs. There is a great portion of our website that's dedicated to telling you a lot about the specifics of each of those programs. This is my 8th virtual presentation this year for potential students and parents. One of the topics we went over was the vocational programs, but if you are interested in knowing more, feel free to email me and I'll provide you with that information at the end of the presentation. Or check out our website. It's www.tri-county.us and go under vocational programs and you'll be able to click on each of these programs and find out more about what you'll learn. One thing I want to do tonight as well is show you a couple of the video clips. If you follow us on Facebook, I've been posting a video about each of the programs separately, individually throughout the year. I'll be doing that all the way throughout the end of this school year. You can also, in the next coming couple weeks, you can go onto our website and find each program's video, which can show you an inside look about what it looks like to be in one of these shops while the students are there. Which we might get into another slide as well, is the way that freshmen select their programs. We go through an intricate process to make sure that all of our incoming students and our 9th graders get to explore each of these programs. So for the first 2 weeks of their vocational programming, students will explore each program for a half a day. So that covers 2 weeks. They'll also get a little bit more intricate exploration with their guidance counselors. They'll spend a half a day going through different types of career interest inventories and learning style inventories and all sorts of stuff just to get to them to explore and understand the different career trades as well a little bit better. And once they do that, they're going to choose 6 of their favorite programs. Then they're going to go through each of those 6 programs for 1 week at a time. By the end of that, which actually falls on this week right now, this is the last week of exploratory for our current freshmen, they're going to select their top 3 programs. Then hopefully they will get their top program. Now, occasionally a program does fill, and we do have to avert to using their exploratory score to decide if they get into that program or if they end up on the wait list and maybe get their second choice program. Majority, 95% on average to 97% on average of students get their first choice major. So I don't want to scare you too much, but I just want students, if they're watching, to know that when you go into exploratory, you do want to try your best and put in effort so that your score increases, just in case there's that chance that your program fills up first. Again, sorry about the videos. Academics. So our academic program is aligned with the Mass Curriculum Frameworks. All of our students are completing 4 Carnegie units, which is a full year of the core subjects, all 4 of them: English, language arts, math, science, and social studies. That requirement is a graduation requirement, and it is actually quite strict. It's more so rigid and kind of comprehensive than the traditional high schools, where they give students a little bit more leeway into what they can take. Our upperclassmen tend to take more of elective programs in those fields and those core subject courses. The students are able to choose a specific math or English course or science or social studies course that sparks their interest or that has to do more with their program, like we offer for science for the students interested in dental or medical or any of the medical fields. We have anatomy and physiology. Or for students in legal and protective or CIS, we have a forensic science class. History, we are getting into the process of offering more electives. We're going to offer an AP course called Human Geography, which is really interesting. That'll be started next year. We do have a plethora of different options for students because we know that students have strengths in some areas and weaknesses in other areas, and sometimes we have students who just thrive in all of their academics and some students who need support in all of their academics. So we have a mixture of students and learning types all through the board. And we do have a majority of our students in college prep courses. That's the lowest course we offer. We do have some more supported college prep courses than others, depending on what your accommodation plans look like. We have students that try their best to make their ways up to honors classes, and they can choose to take 1 or all 4 of the main core courses. And then we have some students that strive to be in advanced placement courses, which is a very strict curriculum that follows what's called the College Board's level of curriculum for advanced placement courses. And the teacher is trained, strategically trained for this national program and sometimes international program where students take AP courses, whether it's English language, English literature, AP calculus, AP statistics. We have all the academic courses listed on our website if you're interested in seeing all of those. We will have 7 AP classes where students will take them and have the opportunity to earn college credit before they leave the school. We do have electives as well. So you'll notice that we have 5 periods during the school day on an academic week. So students will take classes like physical education, they'll take health, they will take a course in their freshman and sophomore year called Student Success, which helps students with study skills, that helps them with day-to-day activities, employability, life. It's going to teach them some life skills. It's going to teach them, as I said, employability skills. It's going to teach them about financial management. They're going to learn all sorts of time management strategies. It's a great course that we offer in freshman and sophomore year. Then junior and senior year, students are able to take electives like psychology, sociology, criminal justice. So these are great programs that students are able to take, and the academics are a very broad spectrum so that students get a lot of choice. You did not hear me mention any kind of foreign language built into our academic schedule. It's not a graduation requirement, and it's not even offered during the school day for students to take a foreign language course. We do have a waiver through the Massachusetts University System program and admissions requirements. So students in vocational high schools are able to waive that foreign language requirement because of all the other requirements that we have. A lot of the private schools will also waive that requirement, but just in case, if students do want to take it, I offer a Spanish 101 and a Spanish 102 course to anyone at Tri-County. Students do need to be very serious about it. It is a college level course. They have to register for it with me. We offer 101 and 102 in the spring semester and the fall semester. So students get multiple chances to take it. I've had freshmen take it in their second half of their freshman year. We don't usually have freshmen take it in the first half of the year because it is just a little too complicated to balance all of that and transition to a new high school. But once they're in and they've found their balance, then they're able to take Spanish 101 and then 102 anywhere from the second semester in their freshman year all the way up to their senior year. Even though it's more, it's better off that they take it in their sophomore and junior year. That's usually when I recommend it. And if Spanish is not their language of preference, I've had students take other foreign languages. What we do is we work with Bristol Community College, and we work with our students to find remote classes that they can take either on their satellite campus in Attleboro or in the main campus in Bedford, or they can take it online completely. Some of my students have taken those courses with my efforts through Mass Bay Community College and Massasoit. So we have lots of options. But for now, we follow these requirements that you'll see on the screen. The top box there with the 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, I know that's a little redundant, is the graduation requirements for students at Tri-County. On the left side, this colorful box here, these are the requirements, and you can see how they've changed from fall 2015 to fall 2017 and beyond. They haven't updated them since, so we're going to look at that last row, the last column, excuse me. And these are the university system, this is the Massachusetts University System admissions requirements. So 4 years of English, mathematics has changed. Now it's 4 years, 4 courses in math, and including 1 in their final year of high school. Science has changed a little bit, but it's still 3 courses. Social science is still 2, foreign language is 2, but as I said, we have this little caveat where vocational high school students have a waiver. And electives can count for anything from our students' shop to the actual electives they take throughout the school year. I know that's a lot of information to take on, but we help students work through this every single year, and we explain everything thoroughly so that they are ready and prepared for graduation and the whole college application process or job application process. Student services, we do offer a full range of student services. We have 2 adjustment counselors, a social worker, we have 4 guidance counselors, we have lots and lots of support. We do have an officer that comes in from Franklin Police Department, and he brings the service dog with him. Everyone probably knows Franklin. And basically, anytime any student needs anything, they know where to go. Most students feel comfortable going right to their teachers, but oftentimes students will walk right into the guidance department, which is at the entryway of the school. So students get an opportunity at the first thing in the morning to see us in guidance. They see us at lunchtime because we're right next to the lunchroom, and then they get to see us at the end of the day. Or if they ask their teacher, they can come down and see us anytime during the day as well, or they can make an appointment with the guidance counselor as well. So we have lots of assistance there to help students, whether it's social emotionally or academically. Cooperative education, a lot of people hear about this. I group this into what we also call placement. So as many of you, well, probably all of you know, the best experience is real experience, firsthand experience, meaning on the job site, working with actual professionals. Now, most of our teachers, and that includes academic, have worked in the profession, a different profession, and bring that experience into the classroom with them. What you don't probably know is that all of our vocational instructors have worked firsthand in their related workforce. They bring that experience into the classroom, they help students achieve success, but then they also bring students out onto what's called placement. So under teacher observation and instruction, because there's always safety is first, our teachers bring our students out to work sites and they get to experience and see what it's like to work the job. Then once the students learn enough about the techniques and the safety skills that they need to go on their own, students are able in their junior year, 3rd trimester, able to go out on cooperative education. We do have a cooperative education director, and Mrs. McLeod's role is to go out into the field, make sure the job is legitimate, that students are actually working and not just doing one side chore. They're actually doing something related to their profession or their vocational career, and that they're getting paid a good wage and that they're being safe and treated well. So what students do is they go out and work on their vocational weeks, and that starts trimester 3 of their junior year. Students can work full-time over the summer. That's not as related anymore because the school's out of session. Then once senior year starts up, every other week, the seniors will come back. Your child, if they're a senior out on co-op, will come in for academics, and then they will not return to the building until their next academic week because they'll be working a 40-hour work week while earning a paycheck. So that's a great opportunity. Students learn so much. People ask me all the time, what happens if a student gets fired? Well, that's a great life lesson. We bring them in, we talk to them. Has it happened before? Yes. Has it happened many times? Yeah. But what happens is students learn. They learn from their mistakes. A lot of people understand when I say that, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, they sometimes feel like they know everything. I'm not saying you specifically if you're listening, but some students do, and they have to learn and see it for themselves to really experience what employability is and what the workforce looks like. So it's a good learning lesson. Some students just thrive and do really well from day one. Some of our students are offered scholarships. Some are offered full-time employment or a great apprenticeship after they graduate from Tri-County. This is a wonderful opportunity. So part of co-op also is the understanding that is assisting students maintain a job or build a resume to help them after they graduate. We strive ourselves, especially in guidance, one of our top priorities with my grade 12 guidance counselors is to make sure students know where they're going, what they're doing, how they're getting there after they graduate. Last year, the year before, and I think even the year before that, we've only had maybe an instance of 1 or 2 students who haven't really decided 100% what they wanted to do. Majority of our students fall into what's called positive placement, meaning they went into a workforce related to their shop. They went on to a 2-year or a 4-year college or a technical school, or they went into the military. And these are what we consider positive placements. And, you know, depending on where a student is, if they're in auto tech, they have the choice. They can go on to any one of those 3 after postgraduate placements. If you're in auto, you can go on to Johnson & Wales to be a chef. If you're in culinary, you can go on to Bentley to be an accountant. There's no pigeonholing students. Once they have their high school diploma from Tri-County, that's like having a traditional high school diploma. But on top of that, they're getting these 3.5 years experience in a program, in a vocational trade, in a major, where they're gaining certifications, licensure, and hours towards professional licensure. And that's just on top of what they're learning academically. Athletics, a lot of people ask, you know, is Tri-County just a school students go to, they go to shop and go home? No, that's not the case. We have lots of extracurriculars, including athletics. We are in the Mayflower League, and, you know, we may not be as super competitive as a D1 school. Don't let any coach at my school catch me saying that. Because we do have some very competitive teams. I think my first year at Tri-County, our football team was in the Super Bowl and played at Gillette Stadium. Our wrestling team is phenomenal. We've had a state champion, and the team just in general is, the camaraderie of our wrestling team is just incredible. But that goes for all of our teams. Our cheerleaders are amazing, and they tend to end up at some form of a championship or national competition every year. They went to Florida recently, last year, and competed in the national championship. They're incredible. But all of our teams are just great places for students to learn time management, to learn how to build friendships, how to learn how to really get along with others, and have fun. That's the other part, and stay fit and healthy. And it's just a great opportunity. So not only do we have athletics, but just like traditional high schools, we have clubs and organizations. And many of them are just such a great place for students to not just meet people, but learn and have fun. And again, just to have others that have similar interests as them. We have clubs that are traditional, and we have some clubs that are non-traditional. Basically, if a student has an interest and they find a teacher advisor, they can start a club. As you can tell here from some of the non-traditional clubs, like anime, which we have a huge turnout. Students, you know, they watch anime, they create anime, they discuss anime. We have a great game club where students play, whether it's, you know, Pokemon cards, or they do discuss, you know, Game of Thrones, or they talk about, you know, what the latest and greatest is. Maybe even still play Dungeons and Dragons. I've seen them do that a lot. And that club's grown so big that sometimes they need 2 classrooms. Garden club, green club, math team, they do math meets and competitions. Music club, they have a pep band. It's pretty cool. We have a lot of music electives now. Students love the music club after school. We have a traditional yearbook, which the yearbook is awesome. I love our yearbook, and I love our meeting every year, getting to see our students come back to the high school after they've graduated and pick up their yearbook for the signing night. We do have a National Honor Society branch, which is awesome as well. They do a lot of community service. So, Tri-County admissions, and I just want to remind everybody again, I do see the chat room lighting up, and I will answer all of those questions at the end of the presentation. Tri-County admissions, I just want to go through this because it's a little confusing and it is a little different this year. So the difference this year is the Department of Ed stepped in, who does regulate our admissions policy. So we are a public high school, and we want everyone to have a fair and equal opportunity to join our high school. But we have a system of deciding, you know, where, at what line, at what point would a student be successful at Tri-County or not. And if we have too many applications for spaces, how do we decide? And traditionally, we do have to have a pretty long wait list or reject list. This year, I feel like we'll be able to fulfill the needs of most students who apply, which is awesome. But because everyone is doing everything a little different this year, we have to be fair. for those students who may be in person or may not be in person at all. It's really challenging to get a discipline record and compare that to a student who's been in person the whole year and another student who hasn't been in the school once. Same thing with attendance record. Some schools are taking attendance based on the number of classes students attend. Some are taking it based on if they've attended a certain percentage of the school day. Some are not taking attendance. So we have to be really careful at how we look at records this year, and we're going to do so. We're changing the point systems, we're reallocating them a little bit. So scholastic record, which is 7th and 8th grade grades, is really important. Recommendation of sending school. That's not a letter of recommendation. You don't need to ask someone to write us a letter. We can't consider something outside of our scoring system. So what we do is we do have a rubric that the middle schools use. Their team uses a rubric to decide a score on how well or successful they think a student will be at our high school. An interview. So what we'll do is once you've applied, which hopefully you all have at this point, we're going to start making our considerations and requesting our documents next week. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But the interview, the email will go out within the next few weeks. We're going to send that out for the month of February, where you will select a day and a time, and your child, or if you're here as a student, you will sign up for an interview with one of the guidance counselors. There's 4 of them, or myself. And we have a quick 10-question interview. I swear it's painless, pain-free. We get through it quickly. We just want to get to know you better, and you get a score from that. Another part of admissions, down below at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the towns that we serve. So every town traditionally belongs to a vocational high school or a school serving Chapter 74 programs. These are the 11 towns that are belonging to Tri-County. If you're on this program right now and you're from, say, Attleboro or Bellingham or another surrounding town, don't worry, you can still submit an application. There is just a different type of process, and we'll walk you through that once you've applied. So I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and so I tried to keep the presentation itself short so I can get to those questions. Again, my name is Scott O'Brien, Head of Guidance. My email address is up on the screen. I want to thank everyone for their time and being able to make it here today.